Welcome to KodamaCast.
Yes.
With your hosts, Julie and Sasha.
Sasha.
Today we're dressed as evolutions. So
Yes.
Julie is Umbreon and I am Espeon. And this is our Halloween podcast.
Yes. Halloween is next week.
Yes.
After this is recorded. So, in theme, we're decided to talk about some
Spooks.
some spooks. Some spooks and goofs, you know? We want to talk about some like video games and animes that kind of creep us out a little bit.
Yeah, and like I guess we're gonna go into why they creep us out and just kind of go in depth and kind of dissect why they're
Dissect.
spooky. It's on theme, right? Ooh. Oh my gosh. So, to start it off, well, before we start everything, we will give spoiler warnings for the things that we're going to really go in depth with, because I feel like some horror aspects that we're going to touch on with the games and anime that we're going to go into don't happen until later on in the story. Therefore, we're going to have to spoil it, but we'll always give a warning. But this one, the first one that I'm going to be talking about is Little Nightmares, and I will not be spoiling it. I'll go like a little bit into depth about gameplay, but otherwise the story is like pretty open-ended regardless, right? So, Little Nightmares, super good, and actually we played it together on stream a long time ago. Do you remember?
Oh, I played it with you the second time.
Yeah.
I had played it on stream when it first.
Yeah.
It was one of my first streams ever. I played Little Nightmares, and it was actually a pretty good stream. I was like crying the whole time.
Yeah, it was good.
And then I played it again with you.
We played it with me on my stream.
It was one of yours first.
Yeah, and I remember because you helped me with some of the parts that I couldn't get because we were stuck.
Yeah, Little Nightmares is amazing.
Yeah, so Little Nightmares is like an indie game. It came out in 2017 by Tarsier Studios, which is a Swedish company, which is cool. It's they based it as a horror adventure platformer, which can be like kind of equated to games like Inside and Limbo by Playdead Studios.
Yeah.
It's
hide and seek.
Yeah,
That's what they call it, hide and seek.
Hide and seek, which is like a good way to say it. The game is fairly short. It says it's roughly about 5 hours of playtime. So this is 4 to 6, although I did hear that you can speedrun the game in like under an hour.
Yeah,
but
I can see that.
But it's like a game that rewards you for exploring, and sometimes you have to wait and stuff like that. So it's cool. So you play as this character who is called Six, which is this like small, they don't know if it's a girl or a boy. Yeah, just look cute little character in a yellow raincoat. And you're like walking around and exploring this like very large world, and the world is called the Maw. And it's not really a world, it's more like this area. It's like a restaurant, but it's also like a prison. And you kind of like run around this very large world as a very small person. So you're constantly climbing on things like tables and chairs and like little I don't know,
Little
stuff like
Nightmares?
That. Stop. Yeah. So that like is really fun, and you like encounter I think 4 different types of main enemies, one of which has like many. So I wrote down like the first one you encounter is the janitor, which is like this really spooky guy with really long arms. Yeah.
Terrifying.
He was
His
the
arms
worst.
are like 20 feet long.
Yeah.
He's just like, just imagine you, this like little like child, and some arms man.
Yeah,
is just
they're
like waving his arms everywhere.
My gosh. So creepy. He's the worst, I think, for me with just, like his proportions.
Scariest to me.
He freaked me out. The other ones we won't go into as much, but like we meet the twin chefs, which are these like very like gluttonous, you know, like they look like they're drooping and like melting.
Yeah, it's
and
gross.
they're twins and they're like butchers basically. Then you go against the guests, which is like the rest of the residents on the mall, which is like a bunch of them, and they're all like also gluttonous and like eating and just like overwhelming. And then the last one is the lady, which you see in the beginning in the like the first
the
scene.
very first scene.
Yeah. And then you see her throughout the game, but you don't interact with her really until the end.
Mm-hmm.
So those are like the 4 that you go into. It's like, I want to go a little bit more into how it's like a puzzle game, but that's not really the hard aspect of it. So I don't think it matters that much. The gameplay is very hide and seekish, like you said. That's how they said it, because they didn't want to call it stealth because they said that it made it feel like the character was empowered somehow. And they were like, she's definitely not empowered.
She's not empowered. Say she. I don't know.
Yeah.
Assumed to be she.
Yeah. People have theories that it's she because it looks like
the lineage or whatever.
Yeah.
Won't get into that. You gotta play the game and then look up some theories after.
Yeah, it's very open-ended.
I remember finishing it and reading like all these theories. So
yeah. So like I wrote down like little sections on why it's scary, and like the very first thing that I came up with was suspense, because I think that's the anticipation of like possibly getting caught is probably one of the scariest things to me, because I don't know. So the gameplay is like you're a character that can't fight, you know, like your only option is to hide and run, which is already very creepy in and of itself. But the game like forces you to do these things. So there's these very large, scary characters that walk around. You kind of have to sneak around them and like distract them. And sometimes you just have to like straight up run from them. And I feel like that anticipation is very scary to me.
Yeah.
Because I remember like hiding underneath like a corner of a table and having them like walk right up next to it, and me just like tensing up, and I'm like,
there's because you're like, you kind of feel like you are that like small character, like, so defenseless. Because I know that this is not a spoiler, but like the one area you're like climbing bookshelves and stuff with the arm guy, and the arm guy's like feeling around on the bookshelves, and you're just like, oh my god, don't touch me.
Yeah, because the arm guy is blind. That's what. Yeah. Because each of them have like different things, but the arm guy is blind, but his reach is massive, so like you can't make a sound. And that's like a good other thing that I think makes it scary is the sound design.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Really?
I wrote that down. The sound design of Little Nightmares is like fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good.
So good.
There's not necessarily much music. I think there's like little hints of music with like music box stuff, but it's mostly like ambient noise and like kind of like sounds in the background, because it is this like kind of establishment, right?
Yeah.
There's always people in there, but you're like kind of always crawling through the gutters and like the sidelines of things. And what I wrote was like the sound design of like the meat cutting and stuff like that, like when the butchers are like cutting the meat as you're like running around them trying to make sure that they don't catch you, and the creaky floorboards, so like
you step and like make any sound. Like,
they hear you.
So when they hear you, they do this thing, I don't even know how to mimic it, but they're like and then like there's like this pounding sound. It's like, oh my gosh,
of them like running, like they know that you're there.
Yeah,
and you have
it's like it's like kind of like similar to like your heart beating really, really fast.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
from what I remember. Yeah,
I remember
like,
that was really spooky,
terrifying.
What is it? And like another thing I wrote down, I'm glad I wrote this down because I would have forgotten it, but the game actually avoids very graphic death scenes, to leave it up to the person who's playing its interpretation, which I think is really scary. Usually when you get caught, you kind of like, something happens, like you get grabbed by them, and then like it kind of fades to black, which leaves you to infer what happened to her, you know what I mean, rather than having it be very gory and detailed, and maybe you could become desensitized to that after seeing it for the 5th time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like they grab her and just like rip her apart and you're just like, oh man, it's scary. It's just kind of,
although that can work well too.
It can, definitely,
because like I talked about Little Nightmares, even though they don't consider it a horror game, which is interesting. It's spooky for sure, but maybe not necessarily horror. But I think in Inside, they did a good job with the kind of like slight gore aspects of it. There's this, like, we talked about this earlier, about how there's this one area of the game where you're playing as this character in a side scroller, and you're in an area where there's like a sonic boom.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain it?
So like you're walking and there's these, it's like the crazy this sound design of inside is like insane to me. It's so good. I can't even, you have to play it because it's like you have to hear it.
You have
like
to play
it's
it
with headphones.
Yeah.
So it's just like there's this I guess it is a sonic boom. It's a sound.
Yeah.
It's a sound like boom, right? Yeah, that's what a sonic boom is. So you're like characters walking and they have to hide behind things because when the boom comes, it explodes your body.
Yeah, like that's the best way you can explain it. And like you don't really know that. Like I remember like hearing the boom, right? And like I just got into this area and I was just like running.
Yeah.
And like the boom sounded scary, but I didn't know anything about it. And then I get into this like open area and my body just combusts.
Yeah.
And I was like,
gosh, okay.
It was so
but
jarring
like, it makes
to me.
it super creepy because you just hear this like boom.
Yeah.
Boom. And it's just like there's a few seconds and it does it again. It just, the sound of it, I don't even know how to explain it. It's crazy. That one I also, just because we're talking about Inside a little bit, the like underwater scenes in Inside are like terrifying to me. And that has like kind of a crazy sound design too because it's like silent, but it's like it's just creepy. It's so
underwater
creepy.
Scenes in general, like
I don't do good with water.
Me out.
Water, any game. Nope.
It's too much.
Because underwater you can't like, I don't know, there's just that like fear. I think I have it. Like it's not I wouldn't say it's a phobia for me, but maybe like the fear of like deep open water. Yeah, because you don't know what's below you.
In there. Yeah.
Oh gosh, and inside there sure is something in there.
Yeah, and it's scary because inside you also have like no way to
defend yourself. You're another just like kind of little kid.
That's like a fairly common trope with horror-ish games.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
It's a good one though.
But it definitely
you feel more defenseless than anything.
Which is a lot scarier.
You are defenseless, but like it is scarier to know that you just, all you can really do is run.
Yeah, and I think that that's a good way because I think that games where you like play as an empowered character with like a gun or like a knife, you know what I mean, something like superpowers, you know what I mean, the only like really good way to scare them at that point is with jump scares. I feel like, because there's like an element of suspense kind of gone because you know that even if something jumps out at you
can
like
just like guns
you can just gun them out, you know. And I think that the games where you're like that defenseless don't rely on jump scares as much.
They do, but it's like it jumps out and then you kind of just like, and then you start shooting.
Yeah.
You know, you feel a little better because you have that defense. Otherwise, you could like, oh god, and then it's like they're just there and you like, oh, what do you do? Run and hide? Like, I don't.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Another good game that plays on that really well, and probably one of the first games, I don't know, that did it. We know which one we're talking about.
You all know.
Amnesia. So Amnesia came out, I don't know,
long
time ago, and it's a PC game that it plays a character who's also very defenseless, but he's like an older man. Girl!
There's a random number calling me. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Jeez, throw it on the floor. That scared me. Jeez. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Spooky.
Spooks.
That was a jump scare.
The hash slinging slasher.
Nash slinging.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, Amnesia.
But, Amnesia is like, so there's this monster character and you have to run from him and hide in like usually like little what are they called? They're like not bookshelves, but cupboards. Yeah. And it's so scary to me. I don't know, just interacting with the world. And like one of the best things about Amnesia, in my opinion, was the sanity meter. How like when you lose sanity, you start to like hallucinate. So you see like these random things. Like the world starts shifting, like moving around in a weird way, like lights start to flicker, you see like cockroaches like manifest on the ground, you know what I mean? Like, and actually I'm pretty sure that the gameplay is like, if you have low sanity, the monster is more likely to appear or come after you. So that's a thing that I think is really interesting with these games. So
yeah, I think Outlast had something similar. It was like you had like a video camera though, and you could only, you know, your video camera was like your source of light. And then the battery would die, and you're just in the darkness, and it's like terrifying.
Yeah.
Jeez.
The limited resource thing is really spooky too.
It is spooky.
If you're playing a game with resources, it's kind of like
they did that in. Not a fan, but it was a big game for a while. FNAF.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about FNAF.
Five Nights at Freddy's. They had the thing where you could only, was it the cameras or something?
It was the doors.
The doors.
I like vaguely remember like you could only hold the doors shut for so long because there was a power meter. You could only like look at the video cameras for so long.
Yeah, it was
before you
run
out of
meter for
battery.
That too. And that's that's the whole thing.
That game was like, when it first came out, I remember playing it and being scared, but I was never behind the lure of it.
Yeah,
and so, like,
it became very overhyped, I guess.
Yeah.
Which kind of, if you're like a cool cat, you're like too cool for school, you're like, I'm not playing FNAF, everyone's playing FNAF.
Yeah.
It's like, kind of like that.
I don't know. Just like the system that was made with FNAF, like the way that it's played, I feel like
you can't move.
Yeah,
so that
like
was freaky.
But like you can't carry it over into multiple games because like at a certain point, like the jump scares aren't scary anymore. So it's just like a matter of getting the timing right, and that's it. You know,
the first one just But
the first one really spooked me. I remember playing it on like a big TV, and I couldn't play because it was
you're just stuck in this room. You can't move. Your physical self can't move, so you can't run.
Yeah, it's like a helplessness.
They're coming. You know, you're stuck there, and.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting, like, concept for sure.
And, like, to be fair, the concepts of the, like, horror animatronics are pretty creepy. I will give them that. Chuck E. Cheese, like, horror themed is pretty scary and fairly original, I think.
It was definitely, it was original.
Like, I haven't seen much like that, really, so I think that that's fun. On a side note, what's, like, one of the scariest, like, characters that you've ever seen, like that spooked you maybe as like a kid or like in a video game or something like that?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Well, ooh, just like in general or like
like it could be anything. Like it could be like an openness thing. Like I have like a really like fair like creeped out phobia of like little girls. So
BioShock.
Oh, BioShock is a good one.
I wrote BioShock. It's not. I don't think it's technically
the first
marketed as
not the last one.
No, not Infinite.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not. I don't know if it's marketed as a horror, but I did write it down.
Definitely
because,
has horror
with BioShock.
aspects.
I mean, the little sisters, I should call them. They were like definitely. They were creepy. That is another game. The biggest reason BioShock was so creepy to me was just like the atmosphere.
Yeah, atmosphere is one of the biggest things that makes things scary.
It was like dark. You're under.
Are you underwater, right?
Yeah, you are underwater, and then there's these creepy, freaking little sisters.
Yeah,
which are actually, it's fine, but they just originally just like, oh my gosh, because they're so freaky, and you can like choose to eat them or or save them. It was like I had actually written a paper a little bit on that in college because it was a moral
BioShock?
thing. It was a moral thing when that game came out. It was a big moral thing in video games.
That's cool.
Yeah,
because like you got like a boost, right, if you ate them.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like I think you could get some boost or like skill points or something like that. I think you got like some kind of power. It's so long, but I remember playing it when it came out, and I was like, in my basement, which is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't play this.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a big baby.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything.
I don't know. Did you want to talk about, like, because I feel like BioShock is a good mix of, like, an empowered character with, like, hard aspects to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, you shoot and stuff. And BioShock.
Yeah, I wanted to, just because we're on the topic of horror, I feel like I can't not bring up Dead Space.
Yeah.
Because, like, Dead Space, I remember playing it and watching someone play it, and I was terrified. I never actually, like, finished the game.
Yeah.
I never finished it because I was too scared. I wrote a little bit about it. Okay, it was developed by Visceral Games. And basically the premise is you play as, like, Isaac Clarke. He's an engineer who must fight his way through a mining starship infested with aliens.
Yeah.
The crew of the ship has been slaughtered and their corpses reanimated into these creatures known as necromorphs.
Oh, I didn't know that that's what happened.
Yeah, so, like, everyone
pieces
on that ship got turned into these necromorph things, and the necromorphs like feed on other humans and then they turn into it too. And I just remember as, like, there's nothing I hate more than, like, these crazy looking, like, I just was
yeah.
So, like, they have, oh god, they're like crazy looking and they just get worse and worse. Like,
Can
I just
you describe one?
I remember the first ones you see, I think in the first game, are like they look like these, like, they look like corpses, like, kind of zombie things, but then they have these arms, and coming out of their hands are, like, these long, like, knife type things. And then they're, like, insides, like, poured out, and, like, they're just, like, coming at you. But the thing with, so, like, you are able to, like, you know, defend yourself in Dead Space. Like, you have, like, a weird space gun type thing. And you can, like, lift people with it and stuff like that. But the thing is, with it, you can't just, like, you can't just go ham on them and just, like, shooting, because you actually have to dismember them. So you can't just, if you shoot at their head, it's not really going to do anything. You're supposed to, like, shoot at their arms and, like, legs and stuff and dismember them in order to stop them. And then usually look over and they'll, like, stomp them to really, like, finish them off.
Oh gosh.
But the thing with Dead Space is that, also, some of them can, like, sprout new limbs and they can birth more enemies. I just think they're crazy. They were just crazy looking, and there's more of them would have more arms and, like... Yeah. But the worst thing, I always remember it to this day, is one of the scariest things to me ever, is I think it was the second one. There's, like, a nursery. Baby necromorphs, and they crawl at you on the floor. Like, they just, like, coming at you. I wrote that down. I was like, for me, in games, anything that crawls at you, I don't like it.
Oh no, I don't know what it is about crawling, but it's horrifying.
It's coming at you on the floor, and, like, for this one, there's, like, all these babies coming at you, and you're just like,
I don't like it. I remember there was a movie where there was, like, somebody who, like, crawled on the ceiling, and I can't. There's something about
I'm, like,
it.
getting freaked out right now. Hey, they always are crawling at you.
And they're always, like, unnaturally fast. And, like, kind of, like,
you
know, like centipedes almost.
The one where they're coming down the stairs, like,
with the Grudge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Nope.
Anything with, like, the Grudge and the Ring, I don't mess with that. I'm like...
Crawling?
Yeah, where she, like, crawls out of the TV. I can't.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
That messes me up. Can we talk really quick? Because I feel like we have to touch a little bit on Silent Hill.
Okay.
So Silent Hill is a video game and a movie, but one of the scariest things to me about Silent Hill was the freaking nurses.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, they're, like, bandaged up and they're walking in, like, this,
I know
like,
exactly,
kind of...
because I don't even know if I ever played through the Silent Hill games. I've definitely seen someone, you know, some YouTuber play them. But I do remember that specifically.
Ooh, and then there's Pyramid Head, which I think is... real spooky in its own way.
I don't like anything medical.
Yeah.
Or asylum.
Yeah.
Anything with an asylum, I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I don't like
that freaks me out.
Anything medical wards in any game, or just
the nurses creep me out so much.
So freaky.
I can't.
So freaky.
And like I played Resident Evil, I think it was 3, the one where you save the president's daughter.
Okay.
And like that had some spooky aspects to it, but they were more like, it was more scary in terms of like swarms of them. Like there was a lot coming at you, and then sometimes they would have like zombies that were like zombies of other things. I don't know. Like there was like,
I don't think I played it, but
I don't know, just like how you talked about how there was like, oh, babies and people, and this like in Dead Space, like there was also like different kinds of zombies in Resident Evil, which I think were scary. Like there was like a sea creature monster that I remember was really spooky.
Nothing in the ocean.
Yeah.
Nothing in the ocean.
Mm-mm.
Or like
Yeah.
aliens. Have you played Alien Isolation or seen any playthroughs of it? That's a creepy one. I didn't really write anything about it, but I know when it came out, it like really freaked everyone out because like you're basically kind of being stalked by this alien, and you have to.
Oh,
like,
you're stalked by him?
kind of. It's like from what I remember, it's just creepy. That's all I remember.
Huh.
It's aliens are freaky.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't like aliens.
I remember there's a like nest and everything where the aliens are coming. Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Yeah.
It's just it like climbs through the ceiling like vents and everything.
I don't
and,
like
pops
yeah.
out. Yeah.
I don't like.
Nope.
So, you know what? There's something about like small scary things that scare me more than large things. I used to think about that when I was like younger.
Yeah.
There's something scary about like
Small and
turning over.
fast.
Yeah, because they
Small
can
and
get
fast.
through things.
That's why I don't like the babies. Anything
Yeah.
babies.
I think of like Chucky.
Yeah.
You know what I
Chucky
mean? Like
coming
he's
at you.
small and he like you kind of see him down here, but like you can kind of like stop big ones that can't get through the door where they're like, oh, you know what I mean? The little ones are
Yeah, they run at you.
Yeah.
They're always small and fast. Like
Yeah.
there's big things where you turn a corner and there's just a big thing standing there and you're like, all right, I'm gonna turn around and go this way. But like
Yeah.
there's something small coming at you. It's like, oh my gosh.
Anything fast.
Yeah.
I don't like running from things.
No.
I hate running from
No,
things.
yeah, you're supposed to turn around and see if it's still there. I'm like, I'm not turning around. I'm just gonna
I used
run.
to be afraid of playing Manhunt because I didn't like running away from people.
When we were kids, we played Manhunt like every night.
Yeah.
Every night.
And I used to be pretty good at hiding and like sneaking around, but the moment someone ran after me, I'd like run
you
for a
kind of
little
panic
and like,
a bit.
yeah.
Even though it's like your friend or something, you're still like,
there's
oh my
something
god.
being chased.
I think about being a kid, and I was ballsy because like I would hide under decks and stuff, and there's spiders,
there's ticks,
spider webs,
like,
ticks, and like now I would never. But like when I was a kid, I was like, let me just squeeze under this deck and hide here.
I think about
Nope.
that sometimes
Nope.
too.
No,
Crazy oh my
person.
gosh! Wow.
Jeez, yeah.
We talked like, cause we had the plan of like talking about a bunch of different games, and then we're going to phase into a couple main things that we both kind of went into a lot and have a lot more knowledge on. I think
We like realized that we're kind of more of indie game players more than like main
AAA titles.
AAA titles. So like I know basic premises of a lot of like the main horror games that everyone loves, but like
yeah,
I really like
I feel
weird
like
indie games.
I feel like this next game that we're gonna talk about is probably one that made me genuinely feel scared for the first time in a long time.
I was terrified, and I was with someone. Usually, when I play something with, like I played it with Sasha for a while. It was actually like so. I just left.
Yeah, we stopped. We had to stop
because we were like, oh my god.
It was just too much. There's something about it that made it so eerie. And
so this title is Doki Doki Literature Club, which sounds ridiculous when you say it, but we're
spoilers for this one.
We're gonna, because we've restrained so far on the podcast of going, because we mentioned this and
we mentioned Doki.
We've restrained from going into detail on it because we don't want to spoil it, so we're gonna talk about it in depth. So my recommendation is, if you haven't played it, go play it.
Go play it with like, don't look into it. Just go
don't
download
look
it on
into
Steam.
it at all. Just play it.
Like
it's free.
It's free. Yeah, it's free to play. It's not that long.
No.
And I totally recommend it to anyone who's like,
it's really
willing to have like a different kind of horror experience.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, that was your spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. Now we're going like
Okay.
full depth in.
Yeah. So, Doki Doki was developed by Dan Salvato,
Yep.
which we've mentioned him before because it's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
He made it by himself. He's actually was known in the gaming community for making Smash mods,
Mm-hmm.
which is off
How you do
topic,
it.
but you know. So Doki Doki is a dating simulator
Yeah.
/ visual novel. They
Yeah.
describe it as,
Mm-hmm.
and basically you play as this guy who's you, whatever you.
I
name
usually
them.
call him just like MC, main character.
Yeah, main
Mhm.
character. And he's talking to it's like 4 girls,
Mhm.
4 cute
Cute
little
girls.
girls.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, they all have their different quirks.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff.
like, who are they? Because I feel like
Yeah,
we have
I
to go
have,
into them because there's not too many.
Yes, so there's Sayori.
Mm.
She's your childhood friend. She's the one who invites you to join the poetry club, which is where this all
Literature
takes
club.
place, or literature club.
Yeah.
You're right.
Where you do
But
poetry.
poetry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a literature club is what you join. She's like she's kind of a I don't even know, it's kind of
she's-
standard, but she's like
She's like a cutesy girl with like some kind of like somber undertones, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
There's Natsuki. She's like this small pink-haired girl. She's like very cute, but she's kind of feisty and like whiny.
Yeah, I would consider her like a tsundere.
Yes.
That's what I think she
Definitely.
is. Definitely whiny. She
She's
definitely like
like-
pretends not to like you.
She's
whole
that
time,
one. Yep,
yeah.
that's the definite.
And she really likes manga, and she has like
She
an
does
issue
like
with the other character, because the other character Yuri doesn't think that manga is literature, and vice versa. So-
Controversy.
Yeah,
Who is
Yuri. Yeah,
Yuri. She's has like this long dark purple hair.
yeah,
She's like very shy and like timid. She really likes reading,
yeah,
specifically horror novels.
yeah.
And she also collects knives.
Yeah, she collects knives. I
Yeah.
like wrote down here. I
Just
said the
here.
silent beauty. I feel like she's that kind of type.
she's
You know
like
what I mean?
The Hinata.
Yeah, she's
Like-
definitely like a Hinata character, but like gone wrong.
Very wrong. And Monica.
Monica is main girl.
She's the president
in a lot of ways.
of the literature club.
Yeah.
You know, there's only like 3 of them, so
Yeah.
she's like very, she's like very all together.
She's
you
like
know,
a perfect
seemingly.
girl, kind of.
She's,
Yeah.
like, friendly,
Pretty, like popular,
pretty,
you
yeah.
know. Always knows the right thing to say. Kind of it leads the rest of the girls
Yeah.
when they like
They
go
fight
against each
She's
other.
like, stop it, guys.
Yeah. And like
Ooh.
something that I should note is that when you first begin the game, you can't romance Monica.
No.
You don't have the option to. So like the way that the gameplay is played for like the first half of the game, which goes on for quite a long time, is like you talk to the girls, you have like all these things, you have a few choices, and then you go home and you write like a poem.
Mhm.
And the way that you write a poem is you like just choose words,
Yeah.
and like you see like on the right hand side is the words that you click, and on the left hand side is like these 3 little chibis of like Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri. So
Yeah.
like every time you click a word, one of them will like jump
You'll
up
be
and
like,
be
"Woo!"
happy.
Because it means they like that word, so
Yeah.
they'll like your poem more.
So like you kind of have to tailor and try to click the words that fit the girl that you want to romance. And like that's how the first half of the game
Yeah.
is played, which goes on for a long time, which I think is an important thing to note.
Noted.
Yeah, so like me and Julie played this game.
Here's how this started. Sasha was like, Julie. She was like, there's this game I really want to play. I want you to like come play it with me. And I'm like, what is it? She's like, it's called Doki Doki Literature Club. I was like, that doesn't sound appealing. She's like,
She
it's
was
like
not
these.
interested.
I was like, what is this? She's like, it's like, I look it up. It's like these cute anime girls.
yeah.
It's like a dating sim.
Yeah.
I like
Nothing against dating sims.
No,
It's
I
definitely not
like dating
a
sims.
thing that you play with like
with
another
someone
person.
else, you know? I'm like, Sasha, how am I supposed to, you know, hide my kinks or something.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Natsuki, step on me, please.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So like I come over and we're playing and it's just like these long, very long.
Yeah.
It's kind of slow in the beginning.
Yeah, like
Maybe they do a lot of talking and we're just like,
yeah, like maybe to somebody who enjoys that, like it's interesting to them, but like the conversations were pretty like simple.
Yeah.
You know, just like regular interactions, like, oh, I like this person, like, oh, like I don't really want to join the literature club, but so you're saying that I should, and you know what I mean? Like very like standard, low key, like nothing crazy's going on, you know, like you're just waiting for something to happen because your only warnings for the game are that it's in the horror section of Steam. It has a warning on Steam, and it has a warning in the beginning before you start the game.
It's categorized as visual novel, psychological horror.
Yeah.
That's what it's categorized as.
So, like...
And there's a warning in the beginning that's like a trigger warning, basically.
Yeah, it like tells you that if you have any like heart conditions, you shouldn't play, or like any like...
And you're like, oh,
anxiety,
what the hell?
like,
I just thought I was playing a dating
like
sim.
Yeah, like that's
like,
all we really had to go off of, and we're like expecting something, but we don't know when it's going to happen, which like the anticipation of playing that like really like low key, you know, relaxing kind of story, and like we're expecting like we had like theories, you know, we were like, okay, well, this one person is a murderer.
I wasn't sure what, because I didn't look into it at all. I knew nothing. I knew nothing. So, like, all I knew was, like, I came over and, like, there was just that weird warning in the beginning. And I knew while I was playing it, I was saying, she was like, I'm getting weird vibes from this girl. I don't remember.
Monica?
No, I don't think it was
Monica.
It was, I think it was probably Yuri.
Yeah.
Or something. She was just like...
Yeah, well, she was, like, obsessed with horror, kind of a little too much.
Yeah. I was like, I'm getting weird vibes. And then you, like,
What?
Well, the knives thing happens.
Yeah.
You, like, go to her house to, like, help her. Or in that path, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like, you... Yeah, because I think we took the Yuri path, because we could only do Yuri or Natsuki.
I think that's kind of when things start picking up, isn't it?
A little bit.
You, like, come over to help her with, like, party decorations or something.
Something lame.
And you just happen upon her, like, knives or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
These are my knives.
Yeah, and we're just like, okay. All right.
But, like, at that point, like, nothing really happened, so we were like, maybe she's just, like, weirdly quirky. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
She's like, okay.
Like, she's weird, but, like, maybe, like, she's lovable even though she's weird. I don't know.
A little crazy.
Things start to pick up a bit after that. So, like, we noticed that Sayori is being a little strange, and, like, she opened up to us about being depressed. I remember earlier in the game, and how she was struggling with things, and like you kind of talked with her a bit and like talked her through it. And then like you go like to school the next day and you meet Monica. She's the first one there, she's the only one there, and she's like, oh, like we put this booklet together of all of our poems, right? And so
I just got chills. I just got chills. This game seriously freaks me out. I hate it. No, it's like great, but I get so I get freaked out thinking about it, which I wrote reasons why it freaks me out so much, but we'll continue this premise of where it begins.
Yeah, so like you go into class and you meet Monica, and she gives you this booklet, and it has like everyone else's, and like the MC is like, oh, I take a look at Sayori's poem, and it's like, what is it? It's like
a over and over again the same line, and it was something creepy.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it said exactly. It was like I want to die or something.
Yeah,
like,
it was like
over and over and over again.
Yeah,
and it was like scribbled, and then like at the end it was like this big. I wish I could like find the exact.
I don't know, but like it was like hard enough to be like, oh, something's wrong, but like not too much to the point where you're like you knew exactly what was happening just yet. So you're like, it's like MC puts the book down, he realizes that something's wrong, this is not a poem that Sayori would write.
No,
you know what I mean? And then you talk to Monica. Monica looks at you and she's like, oh, you know, where is she? She's like, and Monica's like, you really left her hanging last night.
That's what she said.
And then you're like, wait, what? And then, because like...
Which you don't even notice when you're I get chills. You don't even notice the first time you're playing it, but that's a significant line.
Oh, it's massive.
Like pretty messed up, but you don't even realize it.
Yeah, so you're like, MC's like, oh, I have to go check on her. I need to go see her right now. So he runs back to her house, which is right next to
their neighbors,
childhood friend. You know what I mean? And like, he's like, there's this black screen, right? And he's like, I go to her bedroom door. I know it's uncomfortable to walk into her my childhood friend's room like this, but I feel like I have to, you know what I mean? He's like, and I open the door, and then
I'm getting PTSD,
image of her hanging from the ceiling by her neck.
Yeah.
She's like, it like zooms in on her face. It like knocks out the glitches, start moving.
The music is all distorted.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh my
God. My gosh. Which I wrote that down. The biggest reason this game freaks me out so much is the glitching.
Fuck the glitching,
I hate it. It seriously freaks me out. And the distorted music. So like the game has this like really happy music throughout the whole thing. Yeah. And so when something happens, all of a sudden it's like dude. It's
like, and sometimes it's like slightly off key, so if it's
just
like,
not right.
Yeah. It's just like just a little slower and stuff like that. So that was like the first thing, and we were playing it together at this point, and we got so scared.
I was like, Sasha, exit out of it. Neither of us wanted to touch.
We didn't want to touch the computer.
We're like, Sasha, exit out. She's
the
like,
music kept playing, right?
And we're just sitting there listening to this distorted music,
and it keeps like zooming in. She's kind of like swinging a little bit, and her face is lifeless.
Yeah,
like, it's anime, right? It's anime, but like it's scary.
It's like she's like gray. Her eyes are like glazed. You know?
I'm
seriously getting chills so bad. That game really freaked me out.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know how much further we went after that before I was like, I gotta go home.
The thing that really messed me up was like, so we're finally like, we got the balls to click through again. So like the MC's still talking. He's like, I can't believe this happened. Like, you were my best friend. Like, we were, like I messed up. I need to fix this. And like, it almost implied that we had to go back and play the game again and like pick a different choice. You know what I mean?
Gosh,
so like, after that whole dialogue, it kind of gives you like an end game, then it goes back to the beginning and like it restarts. So it goes like the Team Salvato, blah blah blah.
It restarts. So it's kind of like you lost.
Yeah, it's like
you
lost.
It restarts the game.
So like it restarts and you're like watching. You're like, okay, like we need to make things better. And then the title screen comes up.
The title screen's different.
It's their faces are glitched out.
Yeah,
and Sayori is like completely erased. And
it's like just Monica.
And like all of the things that you can click are all like symbols and like boxes and like there's nothing you can read anymore.
Glitched. So that's like anything that kind of like completely changes the game like freaks me out so much.
Yeah, because like you feel like you're safe in these like saving, like title screens, anything that's not the main game.
Out,
yeah.
And then just start it up. But you start it up and no matter what, it's still glitched like that.
Yeah.
Because the game like messes with your game files. Like it actually messes with the files on your computer.
Yeah.
And like changes all these things, which is what really freaks me out. Kind of like it really breaks the fourth wall. And that's why it scares me so much. Like you feel, which is like a whole thing with Monica.
Mm-hmm.
But you feel like your computer's like infected.
Yeah.
And it's like I was like I'm so glad this game's on your computer and not mine because I don't want it on my computer.
It was oh my gosh.
It just gets worse and worse.
Yeah. It was like we talk about it like we went through all these scary things, but there's only like two main scary things and that got us. Because we didn't expect it at all.
For me, like, so basically each girl has, like, a different kind of theme that's, like, messed up.
Yeah.
So, like, what's her name? Sayori struggles with depression.
Yeah.
Natsuki, she was abused.
Yeah, she's abused.
She's, like, a child
by
abused.
her dad, yeah.
Which is... That's fucked.
This whole
that's why she's all. It's really the whole game is just awful.
Yeah,
but that's explains why she's so childlike and everything. And jeez, Yuri is like just.
She's kind of manic, I'd say.
She's manic and she's pretty, she's self-harms.
She self-harms, yeah.
Just the whole knives thing.
So she's like self-harming and like kind of suicidal. Yeah. And then there's Monika, who
is
omniscient.
Jeez.
For lack of a better word.
She's very misunderstood.
There's maybe a bit. Yeah.
She's,
The more that you play through the game, because it doesn't really point back to Monika right in the beginning. Because when you see that glitch screen, you can click, where the area would be, start game again, and then you'll restart. And then this time, it'll play, the same beginning, but when Sayori comes in, it'll just be glitched out. You know what I mean? So it'll be
the game is all messed up.
Yeah,
it's
so
every
literally
scene that Sayori was
deleted.
Ever in she's gone, and it's just all crazy.
It's crazy and glitched.
Insane. You literally play the game over.
Yeah.
With Sayori just glitched out of everything.
Yeah, but
and then it's just
But then she's fully erased because then it restarts one more time, it glitch restarts, and then it's now the story is different because he begins and he's I'm walking to school.
She's not in it anymore.
All alone. I've never had friends here. Whereas before, I always walked to school with my childhood friends. So it's really
God,
eerie.
It's crazy.
And this time you're debuted into the literature club through Monika, right? And now that's when you really get into the actual
basically
game.
Everyone kind of is Yuri ends up stabbing herself.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it's awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
And then
there's no way not to have her do it.
God, Natsuki really freaks me out.
Her sections
God.
are really scary.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's also they put things in the background that you don't even notice.
Yeah. There's
oh my God, I can't. Yeah.
So you're playing through the game again, and then it's glitchy, but it's not too bad. So some things are normal, and if you look in the background, sometimes you can see a poster of Sayori hanging herself,
which you don't even notice.
Yeah, but it's
you're looking at the background. It's awful.
Oh, I can't.
But basically, what's happening is Monika wants you, for herself.
Yeah,
and she's kind of. As you start to bond with the other girls more, because you can't romance her.
Yeah, she's frustrated.
So she's frustrated. So you're romancing everyone else, and she's well, what about me? So she'll mess them up really bad,
so that you dislike them.
and then she just deletes them from the game, basically.
Yeah.
And so it's just Monika.
It's just Monika. Yeah.
Just Monika.
Yeah.
Just Monika.
Just Monika.
Just Monika.
Yeah. So to really play through the full game, you have to go into the files yourself and delete Monika from the game.
You actually have to delete her from the files. You have to
go in
which is insane. Yeah. That's insane to me.
Yeah. That's
and then
crazy.
You delete her. It's why'd you delete?
Yeah. She's why?
It freaks me out so much. Oh my God.
There's one part that I thought was really, really fun. And I actually did I not experience it? I don't remember. But I streamed the game once I finally
I physically couldn't play it anymore. I had to watch everyone's playthroughs.
Yeah.
I was I can't.
So when I streamed through the game, there's this one part where you talk to Monika one-on-one. It's very much towards the end. She's just kind of staring at you. Mm-hmm. I think she's sitting this.
Yeah.
Or or something like that. And you're kind of going back and forth with her, and she's interacting, and the first spooky thing that happens is you type in a name in the beginning, and it's main character, maybe let's say John. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And she'll be John, well, that's not your real name, is it? And then the game can actually take a file from your PC of the main name that you have, so it can be Sam, is that you?
I remember that.
Yeah,
they did that on something. I think it was Game Grumps.
Yeah,
I watched Game Grumps, which that was if you guys watch Game Grumps, that's one of my favorite playthroughs because it's
so
Aaron
funny.
and Dan, and Aaron already knew about the game a little bit. Like, he didn't know, but he knew. And Danny, I should say, he always goes into everything not knowing anything at all.
Yeah.
He's just like this older guy who's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So he went in, he was like, this is the best. He like loved it. This like cute, peaceful dating sim. Then he's like, oh my god, what's happening? And I think I think it was them who had like that happen.
Yeah, because it
was, like,
goes into your program files and it like
Ross.
yeah. They were like, what the fuck?
Ross.
The other really, really cool thing is that if you're streaming it or like recording it with like anything like OBS, it notices and it's like, because she's like talking, she's like, wait, like she's like, I don't really like that you're sharing this with everybody like this. Oh, God. But I guess it's okay. And she's like, hi guys, I hope you're doing well in chat or something like that.
I hate it.
And she's like, you want to see something cool? And it like starts zooming in on her face. And you're just sitting there like this and it's slowly zooming and then it goes back out and she's like, just kidding. And then she goes, brah! Sorry, Mike.
Sasha knocks the mic out of the pot.
We're gonna have to fix that later.
But yeah, jeez. Yeah, the breaking of the fourth wall and like everything involved with files and computers is so scary because they didn't really do that on a PlayStation or console.
No, not really. The music was really good. The distortion, the glitched effects.
Jeez, I hate the music was so bad.
Yeah, that's like what got me the most. Like the music is really scary.
It made me just want to mute. It would be so much better if I just muted it.
Yeah, but then you don't get the full experience. No. There's like one part where like you're talking to Yuri and it's like in the weird glitch areas and she sometimes get these like weird like composited like realistic eyeballs that like look around.
Yeah, her eyes start like spazzing.
Yeah, but they're like not anime eyes. Like they're all anime girls and then like in certain sections are like real people eyes that just like look around and it's so creepy. I don't know how to explain it.
She's overall just like props to Dan Salvato because
so
like
good.
That's insane.
Yeah,
insane. Like that game genuinely freaked me out. Like it was hard for me to even watch playthroughs.
Yeah,
because I just wanted to see what happened. I was literally watching like with like one eye above the cover, like kind of squinted. I was like, I just need to know what happens without like having to play it.
I had to watch a lot of playthroughs before I had the balls to play it through myself.
Yeah, I'm surprised you did it on stream because I was
scared.
I can't.
It was easier with like other people watching and talking. Oh, I forgot. This is so fun. So when I played through on the stream, I had people in chat and a person named Monica came into my chat and was typing alongside
I love messing with that. I think I remember
the
you telling me that.
And it was so fun. She was like, Monica followed you because like it shows the alerts and stuff like that. And it was she would like reply to what's happening in the game. It was so fun.
That's insane.
Everyone was like, oh,
that's terrifying.
It's so good.
So scary. But yeah, I could just Doki Doki. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
It was really, really unexpected. It was free.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
But
what did I write? Like, I wrote a lot of stuff, like breaking constraints that make you feel safe, I think is like a really big one for me. Because, like, you can get scared literally everywhere when you're saving and stuff like that. I pause Resident Evil when I'm scared to feel safe and like regain my, composure. Yeah. You can't do that in that game. You go to save and she's like, you don't need to save.
Yeah. Oh my God. Also, when you're writing the poems, we didn't even mention that, but like later in the game when you're writing them, it was just like, because it used to be like cute words, like beach, happy.
Yeah,
and as you get further in the game, it's like murder.
Yeah.
Suicide. And you're just like, what?
Gosh.
And they choose it and they're like, ooh.
Yeah. They like jump up, but their faces are like bleeding. I'm like,
the amount of detail to just crazy things. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Just the cute girl horror trope.
Cute girl.
We want to. Segue
into some anime because
we have some anime we want to talk about.
Yeah. So DDLC was an anime video game, but I figured we could touch on a couple.
Yeah, we have a main one that we want to talk about. I just want to briefly, though, touch on, like, one of the most known horror type anime, which is
there's not a ton.
Higurashi, When They Cry is the American. When They think. Okay. Okay. That's like the Americanized name is When They Cry. I watched this when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's all I really remember about it. It like came out in 2006. It just has a bunch of cute girls. Yeah. They're like in this small town. Basically this guy, I don't remember how to say his name. Kaichi? I don't know. He like moves to this small town called Hinamizawa, and he befriends this group of girls. They're all like cute. They're very, the anime is very old art style. They have like giant eyes, like very chibi looking.
Yeah. They're big, all, like, really big heads, really thin necks.
Really big.
Like, that's
heads.
already like an anime thing, but like I feel like more modern anime, their proportions are starting to get more human-like.
Yeah,
so, like very like thin, frail, large heads, large hair,
they all have calyx.
Every one of them has calyx.
Yeah, but basically they just like Doki Doki, they all have their different like quirks. Like I have a few other names here. There's like Rina, Rika, Shion, Satoko, Mian. They all have,
I remember there was the twins. There's the main girl with like the orange hair.
The main girl was Rina.
She was a big spook.
Yeah, so basically there's weird things happening in this town. I know it starts off where he's like, someone like briefly mentions to him that there was a murder in this like mining area or something like that. And they're like, oh, it was dismembered, they never found his arm or something like that. And you're just like, oh, okay. But like, so like I can't remember everything from it.
Yeah.
Except I must mention that the theme songs, the oops, are bops.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Sometimes we just like come back and they're just
we don't even really remember the anime, but like I just remember watching as a kid and be like, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah.
It's just very disturbing. There's a lot of like blood and gore and
there's
like
gore, That's like a show that like does like
it's just disturbing.
Yeah, like
I don't even see it as horror. I just like it's just disturbing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for some people, like horror is different to a lot of different people. Like I think gore is scary to a certain point, but that's not like how I get my horror.
Yeah.
But like it was definitely very scary for me when I was a kid. Like watching like there's this like one part where like the one girl like has to get her nails ripped off, and that was
I remember that,
and I can't I still cringe thinking about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's like torture.
It's just messed up.
Yeah, it's just like very dark. And
I watched like the first couple episodes the other day just to kind of refresher, and nothing really happens. It's just kind of a lot of like the main character, whatever his name is, he'll mention like, oh, did anything weird ever happen in this town? He'll say something like that, and then like it pans over to like a girl, and she's just like, her hair's like, her face is all, like kind of darkened out, so you can't see it, and she's looking down, she's like, no, not that I know of.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's it. No. And it's like, she's like, no, I just moved here. It's fine. And it does that a lot.
It's fine.
It just turns to them like,
because like the missing arm behind her back.
It's like bleeding, and then she's like being all cute again, and it's just like weird things like that.
Yeah. So I know that game is based off of a visual novel itself.
Yeah.
And I think that they play into this in the anime, but like the world kind of revolves around the main character, in which he like goes, does this thing, meets these people, and then like something terrible happens and he dies, or somebody dies, and then like everything goes back.
Yeah, there's
and
a
you
whole,
like replay it again, like the show kind of plays this whole thing again, and now this other person is going crazy, and like this person is like, killing this person, and it's like everything has a consequence kind of show.
Yeah, I know it's a weird thing. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it's just like, it was creepy at the time, but it's like old, and I don't know how much it like holds up.
And now I don't really.
Anymore.
I kind of realized while searching, because I was looking for animes that like really scared me, and I kind of realized that they don't really scare me.
Yeah,
they're more of like, some of them can be kind of eerie or like disturbing, but it's never like, oh god.
Yeah. Like,
and I don't know if they
like,
can for me. Or like most me. I was kind of looking on the internet too, and everyone kind of agreed. They were like, nothing's really scary, but it's definitely kind of messed up.
Like, there's messed up themes, and I think that's like as horror as it can go. But I can't. Like, when I watch an anime, I wouldn't go like, you know, like that. Like, I wouldn't peek through my fingers and like kind of be afraid. When it's a show, I don't know. There's something about it. Maybe it's the animation.
Like, that's what I'm thinking. I think it is I'm not sure if animation. Maybe but I don't want to knock it either because I feel like it could.
It could, and I know some good aspects that could make it. If you remember Courage and the Cowardly Dog, that was actually scary.
Terrified me as a
like,
kid. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but like it's smart the way that it does it because there's like parts of it like Courage is like a regularly animated show, you know what I mean? But it has like a very big horror concept to it.
It's eerie too.
Yeah,
it is,
and like. The best way to do horror is to do something unexpected, and what they did in Courage is they like completely changed the animation style, and they started doing claymation and adding like real like people into it and like making that scary. Because I remember like Courage running around and then opening a door, and then just this like claymation kind of like really scary like clown thing just like screaming, and it catches you off guard because if it was like regular drawing, you're like, oh, you know, like a clown. It was like, oh,
that had good like music too. I'm pretty sure sound design.
Yeah, sound design is a big thing with horror. If you get it wrong, then you're just like,
yeah, the
yeah,
the classic.
Yeah, good stuff. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so you know, is there anything else you want to say about Higurashi?
No, I think it was decent for kids. I don't know if it holds up as much now, but
it's definitely.
But it's interesting to touch on because I feel like there's not many.
I feel like it's pretty important, you know, because that's kind of what people think of when they think of horror in any anime.
Yeah, just like Higurashi.
But when I was thinking of like creepy animes, I was like, well, like one of my favorite animes recently has been Made in Abyss.
Yeah.
If anyone's watched that, I don't know, but. It's not like a horror, like at all. But the things that happen in it, I'm like, oh my! It's horrific. Just like they're horrific. That's a good way to describe it. But just like a basic premise on Made in Abyss, it's like it's about Riko.
Yeah,
she's like the main character. They're all like really young. Yeah, they live in this orphanage. In this town, and the town surrounds this like big. They call it the Abyss. It's like this big hole in the ground.
Yeah.
And it goes so deep, like they don't know how deep it goes. And so they all kind of are raised to like this kind of explore this abyss. Yeah. And they're called what is the word they call cave raiders.
Cave raiders, yeah.
So they get raised to like go and explore the abyss and like kind of they want to know what's at the bottom. And they kind of live, that's like what the town lives off of, basically. Yeah. That's where they get their income and all that.
They like find like relics.
And
these relics they can sell to the rest of the world because they can only find them in the abyss.
Yeah. So like the abyss, though, it has these layers. And like once you get past certain layers, you can't return. Else you get like really sick. They call
you get like consequences. And I have them written. Should I say which ones they are?
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is like one of the most interesting things for me. Because I really like when there's structure in horror or like spookiness, scary things in general. So like the consequence is always looming, but it's not necessarily there. So like when you go down, you can like go down as much as you want, but you can't come up. Without facing these consequences. And the consequences depend on how deep you are, right? So like the first one, like when you go back up, it's just dizziness and nausea. You know what I mean? And then you go down to the second layer and you get a headache, vomiting, numbness of like some limbs and stuff like that. Just kind of like more intense dizziness, nausea. The third layer, if you go up, you get vertigo and visual and auditory hallucinations. So you're starting to see things now. It's getting a little weird. If you go up from the fourth layer, you get full body pain. And this one freaks me out so much. Bleeding from every major orifice.
Yeah. And they show
horrifying.
That. Oh, gosh. It's like...
Oh, gosh.
So bad.
Yeah. I guess we should say we're doing spoilers for this, right?
Yeah. But that's not really spoilers. But basically, we're gonna talk about a few spoiler things about Main Abyss. So I'd recommend you watch it. It's really good.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get into some spoilers now.
The fifth layer is complete sensory deprivation and self-harm. And the sixth one is loss of humanity and or death.
Yes, and I think it's the sixth layer that you can't return from at all. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, they say that like
it was one of them. You just can't return.
Yeah, like 6 you definitely can't return. I think 5 you're having issues for sure.
Yeah.
4 I think only like the really good people can come up without any major issues, and like 3, like 2 and 1, 3, 2 and 1 is kind of like
Yeah. But basically Riko, her mom is someone who went so deep into the abyss that like they don't really know what happened to her.
That's
they don't know what happened. They don't know what happened to her. They don't know if she died. They don't know if she's like down there still. But Riko, you know, she's always wanted to find out what happened. So her like main kind of strength and like goals have always fed off of her becoming the best cave raider she can be, so she can travel down there and find out. But basically this robot boy, Reg, I think his name is Reg.
Regu.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we should call him Reg.
Yeah, he like appears and he's from the abyss. Like he's like basically
he's
like
not sure where he's from, but
he
like,
has no memory of anything. But he ends up kind of exploring with her down there, and she's just willing to go, like keep going until she finds out what happens. And like the deeper layers you get, the more like messed up things are. There's like crazy like creatures, and like
I wrote down some of the creatures that I feel like we should touch on.
Just terrifying.
Like once you start going down, like the creatures are different. They're not like animals. They're just like these things, and like there's 2 that are really scary for me. Like their concepts, the way that they're drawn are really good, I think, and they're really different, and I've never seen anything like them particularly. But there's one that they encounter called the Tamagotchi, which is also called the Orb Piercer, and that's like a major one that they interact with. It's got like this like face that almost looks like a mask, but it's red with holes in it, and then the whole rest of the body is these like big spikes with like like porcupine-ish. But that one can see into the future, basically.
Yeah, it predicts movements. That's what it was.
Movements, so he always knows what's coming. There's like something really scary about having this like really strong, you know, all-seeing animal. And like he has poison in his needles, obviously, so he's like a huge threat.
Yeah.
But the other one is like, it's like for some reason they make it slightly less of a threat, and I can get it, but like it's so scary. It's called the Naki Kabane, or they call it a crying corpse, and it like mimics the speech of the thing that it kills. So it can get more prey, and like if it kills like a human, it can like say like help, and then you come over and it's this like giant man-eating bird with like these eye in the center, and like this eye on the side is like blood is covering its face.
That. Oh gosh,
it was so scary.
Awful.
Yeah, it was not a good time, but it's such a like a cool design. It definitely made it feel real.
So cool about like, just the anime in general, like the designs of all the monsters and the layers, because each layer is like different. Like one's like a water layer, and like one's like this, and this one has a lot of wind and like a lot of trees, and now this one like you can't touch anything because it's all poisonous, you know. But I think there's something really scary about like having these like very innocent children in this like world that is very realistic and like messed up in a way that like these kids don't have plot armor. Like you realize that right in the beginning is like they don't really have plot armor. Like things can happen to them, and they will happen to them. That's like the whole like reason for the show is like these bad things can and will happen, and like will they be able to get through it kind of thing. Yeah, and just the deeper she travels, like she finds out there's people like living down there that can't return, you know, so they're just kind of living down there. They have like houses and stuff, and like kind of houses, they're like really creepy.
Yeah, they're like they meet other like curators and stuff like that going down.
Usually they're pretty messed up, though.
Yeah, they're all messed up, and they're all like at least a bit deformed from
the curse
and stuff like that. And then like she meets Riko, and Reg meet Nanachi.
Yeah, which
is like
that's like something. Yeah, Nanachi. Their arc is very emotional. Very dark. It was something that like I was really just like disturbed by, and that's why I kind of put this in like a horror idea, because it was, but like basically spoiler. Big spoiler. Yeah. She was a child, basically that was experimented on in a way.
It was like she was a child of the abyss, like born in the abyss. She's never been to the top. Yeah, and like they had a bunch of them.
But they were orphans. Yeah, a bunch of orphans, and they were just sending this guy. I don't remember his name. Bondrewd. Okay. Yeah. He was like sending them down.
Yeah. So like he would take like they were all together for a while, and then like every once in a while they'd take a couple kids and they'd never come back, and then finally it's Nanachi and her best friend Mitty. So Mitty is this cute girl. She's like a kind of reserved character. I feel like she's nervous. She's kind of like, and Mitty's like very outgoing, fun, like laughing, and she kind of breaks through Nanachi's wall.
Yeah, they become best friends.
Yeah, and so like finally it's just the two of them, and Bondrewd comes in and he takes Mitty, and like Nanachi's like, well, she waited for a little while, and she's like, you know, I'm gonna see what's going on. So she comes out and she sees Mitty in like this big like elevator type thing, right? So it's this elevator.
Like a tube elevator.
Yeah, it's clear, it's glass. It's like a circle, kind of like a pod, I'd say. Yeah. And then she comes in, and Bondrewd comes in behind her, and he's like, oh, you're perfect for this. And she's like, what? So like he puts Nanachi in the other.
Oh yeah, because they're friends.
Yeah. I rewatched the scene yesterday.
I need to I should have rewatched it.
I was like, I need to.
It's hard for me to rewatch.
It's so hard. So like, she goes into the pod on the next to Mitty. So they're like best friends. They're next to each other, but they can't like touch each other, right? So then Bondrewd explains this plan. He's like, so the curse of the abyss works in a certain way that like we have these elevators that can transfer all of the curse onto one side, and therefore, the other person will get the blessing of the abyss. And so he tells him, and he looks at Nanachi and Mitty, and he's like, all right, Mitty, you're getting all of the curse. You're going to have to suffer all of it, because if you die early, Nanachi will get the curse as well. Nanachi, you're getting the blessing of the abyss, right? So then, just like turns this lever, and they just drop
them down.
Yeah. So they're like screaming to get to the bottom, and it's like dark. There's nothing there. You can't really see. And you see these like blobs start hitting the glass.
It's all the children that they sent down there that were all failed.
Yeah. There's just these like, you know. God. Oh my gosh. So then they're like, oh my God, like Mitty turns to Nanachi and she's like, it's okay, like it's gonna be fine, like I'm gonna bear through this, don't worry. Like they're both crying because they can see each other through the glass, but they can't like. And so like the elevator starts going up, and they like zoom in on Nanachi first, and she starts like growing fur on her body. She gets like a tail, starts getting whiskers and stuff like that, which is how they emulate the blessing of the abyss. You can turn into this like furry.
Yeah, you just turn into
a furry. That's like the blessing, right?
Yeah, but then Mitty was just getting just turning into a blob, and it was like awful.
She like started bleeding, and then like she starts like her body starts boiling up, and like there's blood everywhere. She starts screaming. She's like, kill me, kill me. That was so scary to me. I was so awful. Freaked out. I couldn't.
Awful.
And Nanachi's just watching, and then like finally they get to the top, and like now Mitty's just like, it's just this sack of like skin and like
or like anything. It's just like a blob, but alive still.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like awful.
Yeah, it's horrifying. That scene is like one of the scariest scenes in anime in general.
I had no idea. Yeah, it was so scary.
Yeah,
and then like afterwards, Mitty like all Mitty wants is to die, you know? And like, so like Nanashi's like trying everything to kill Mitty.
Because she took double the curse, she regenerates. She can't die. She can't get poisoned.
She regenerates so fast that she like
she can't die.
So she's just stuck in this like trapped for like they were together.
That.
Yeah, and they were together for a long time.
Yeah, because Bondrewd first, when he realized that, he started like experimenting on Mitty and like trying to kill her. Yeah. And like now she had enough, so finally she stole her.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was just, that's like horrific. It's just genuinely horrific. And
that was like a really just like dark,
the comic, like
part.
We've been reading the comic. I don't know if I'm fully up to date, but like the comic, it just gets like worse. Like the things that happen, I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. It's just like horrifying.
There's something very jarring about like having these like innocent characters in this
like
world,
children and like all messed up, and like everyone's messed up.
Yeah, and, it's just ridiculous.
It was really really well done. I think it actually won anime of the year, right?
It won anime,
which was surprising because it came out and like no one really knew about it.
You know why? Because I think it was on Amazon, and it was like under a double paywall.
And everyone was like really trying to get the word out about it though, and it beat out My Hero. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, which was crazy.
It was crazy. I'm sure some people have feelings about that, but that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
All right, but like, it's not just
it was
that
so
story
different.
That was so good. It's the animation was spectacular.
The soundtrack was fantastic,
amazing.
Just the entire like world building is just crazy.
The background is literally painted by people, a guy who worked on like Ghibli movies.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
it's like it's just fantastic.
It's massive and like, oh my god, it's just really gorgeous, and I can't really explain enough. It's like, but I really like dark things. I like things.
Me too. I like dark kind of. Every anime that's been kind of in my top always has weird dark undertones.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Full Metal Alchemist has weird dark undertones.
Oh, yeah,
it's like Madoka Magica has weird dark undertones. All of them, I just always like them. They're just pretty. I don't know what it says about me, but.
Yeah. But like, I like when things go deeper than they need to go. I don't know. That like, I feel like some shows are afraid to go a little too far. You know what I mean? And I like when it really pushes past that. Yeah. I think Made in Abyss did that very well.
They did it well. Yeah. And I'm excited for like season 2. Yeah. I don't know when it'll come out or anything, but it should be good because they did a good job portraying it from the comic too. Because I read the comic over and I was like, this was like portrayed really well.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be really good if like, because we were both like fairly caught up on the comic, and it's if crazy. They turn into animation, it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I remember talking to you. I was like, I don't know how they'll like animate all this. It's crazy, but I like believe in them. Yeah, it's just some of the stuff's really messed up. It gets so dark
that I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna have to censor stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like some stuff is just like too much. I feel like for animation, I don't know.
Jeez, but yeah, anime, dark, disturbing more than horror.
Yeah. That's what makes me scared. It's either
just like eerie, weird, messed up things.
And like messed up, like
definitely.
Yeah. And that's it. I went through all 3 pages of my thing.
Yeah, the only other, you know, as my runner-up for horror,
what?
I just wanted to mention a game.
What?
When I was a young child, I was terrified of 101 Dalmatians Escape from Devil.
What?
I remember, I have it somewhere down here. I just remember playing it and it was horrifying.
Why? What was it?
It was creepy. It was like a 101 Dalmatians game, except you were in this like freaking mansion. You had to escape and it was all dark and creepy, and like I was a child and I was like, what is this?
You were a kid or were you a dog?
No, I was a dog, but me physically.
Oh, you were a child.
6.
Oh.
Like 6.
Oh my gosh. Well, what, you just had to like play like as a puppy that's trying to
escape.
Well, like in theory it's really dark because like what does she do? She skins them, right? So it was like genuinely scary.
I just remember I was so scared. You're like walking down these creepy hallways and like you just like these people are after you and you're trying to Yeah.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that in there. Just a classic.
The scariest game of all, 101 Dalmatians.
But also, just leave us off with a nice, subtle recommendation, which isn't really just more of a TV show. Netflix recently came out, released like maybe last week. This show called Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
I just wanted to mention it because, like, as we're talking about horror, it's like really good. I'm on, I think, episode 8. I'm almost done.
How many is there? Do you know?
I think 10.
Oh, okay.
10 or 12. But I just want to mention it. It's really good. It's creepy. It's well done. I was impressed so far.
Yeah, we watched the first 2 episodes and I was like genuinely spooked. I haven't been like that. Like I was like watching like this
Me
for
too.
the first time in a while.
Weird. It's not really about. I don't know. It's just good.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
Okay.
But
yeah, it's like a good recent horror. There's not a lot of horror shows.
There's not.
There's like American Horror Story and this. Like what else is there?
Cricket.
Yeah, there's like not
That's
much.
It. Yeah, I thought it was
it's hard
really
to do
dumb.
it right. That's probably
I really thought it wasn't going to be that good because like Netflix, it's always a hit or miss, but it was really good.
Good, I'm glad.
So far.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
yeah. Should we pass this off to you guys?
Yes. Let us know some of your
scary
favorite
anime or games. I'm sorry.
Games or anything like
What's
that.
like the scariest game that you've played? Because there's so many good scary games. I think it's like we hit on like just a few of them, but games
there's
is
a lot
really
of
good to do horror.
Like big titles that we didn't really get into, but
yeah, that's a spooky thing. Yeah. Happy Halloween!
Yeah, happy Halloween! Oh, we're leaving for TwitchCon.
Yeah, we're gonna be at TwitchCon,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
but
we're leaving on Wednesday. We're filming this on Monday. We're gonna be back next Monday, but we'll hopefully have this out earlier so you guys can listen to this before Halloween or during Halloween. A nice little spooky celebration.
Yes.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate like all the feedback, positive feedback we've gotten so far in our first couple podcasts.
Yeah, I'm really glad
everyone's
people are
been
enjoying
so nice
it.
so far. So I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, I know that like
cast.
like sometimes we talk about like slightly more niche things. So it's nice to hear that like people enjoy listening to us even if they don't necessarily know what we're talking about. I think that's like a good feeling to have.
We're just so hipster.
Damn.
Just kidding.
Oh my god. All right. Thanks for being here, guys. Again, this is Julie. You can find her on all social media as @LegendofJulie.
Yes. And then Sasha, she goes by @Siertse.
Yeah.
SYERTSE. And
and then this is KodamaCast.
Yes,
Please follow us on YouTube and
everything.
Give us a comment. Let us know that you guys, if you enjoyed it, if you got to this point, because like it really means so much to us. We've been reading all the comments, so we're like, this is it's always scary to start something new, and I'm really glad that even just a few people feel like they can listen to us and enjoy it, and that's always very appreciated, I think.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you again soon with a new podcast.
We're back from California.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Bye guys.